for their 1997 team photo. In what will hopefully be another season to remember. The ensuing game featured some moments to forget, though. Ray Sanchez's ninth-inning error cost New York the game. And when Wade Boggs was retired, the Yankees had lost 3 of 4. As Mariano Rivera and his teammates searched for the answers to end the slide. Today, the task becomes more difficult. Taking the mound for Montreal is possibly the 1997's best pitcher, Pedro Martinez. Runs will be at a premium as Martinez has the game's lowest ERA. Next is the Yankees versus Felipe Alou's Expos on the WB11.
Live from the WB11, this is New York Yankees baseball.
From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, WB11 Sports proudly presents New York Yankees baseball. Today, as interleague play continues, the Yankees play the Montreal Expos. The starting pitchers for today's game are Pedro Martinez for the Expos and David Wells for the Yankees. Hello, everybody. I'm Bobby Mercer. That's Rick Cerrone, and welcome to New York Yankees baseball here on the WB11. Well, it's second round of interleague play. It didn't get started right for the Yankees last night as they lose to the Expos 4-3. And Mariano Rivera comes on with a tie game in the ninth inning and gives up the game-winning hit. So Montreal wins it. But do the Yankees have some concern about Mariano, Rick? It was about three appearances ago. He hurt his hand with the ball back up the middle.
Well, Bobby, you know, I said that last night. Maybe he hasn't pitched well since he hurt his hand against Anaheim. He did record his 39th save against the Angels, but the last out of the ball game off the bat, off the right hand, the pitching hand of Mariano Rivera, and to me, really never has been the same. He's had a couple of blown saves and the loss here last night. You see him, he's concerned over his hand, but I talked to him before the game. He said, no problem, it feels good. You go back to the Kingdom. First pitch to Roberto Kelly trying to save the ball game. Kelly, an opposite field home run. And then just last night, Mark Grudzielanek, a double down the right field line, another Yankee loss.
Well, we take a look at the last 3 appearances by Mariano in that Angel ball game. They really didn't hit the ball that hard, but he comes up with a blown save. A blown save against the Mariners. The Yankees come back to win, but last night he takes the loss in this Expos win 4-3 over the Yankees. Well, the Yankees will have to face the toughest pitcher in the American League and in the National League, Pedro Martinez. He's vying for the Cy Young Award. It would be the first time a Montreal Expo would ever win the Cy Young,
Bobby,
if he wins it.
Yeah, this guy, I don't know where you can start. Want to talk about his numbers, his strikeout numbers, his interleague numbers? He's 2-0 here against the Tigers. The strikeout on the good changeup. 2-0 in interleague play with a 0.5 ERA.
Take a look at his numbers in 1997. Best in the majors. Earned run average 1.61. Second in strikeouts 245. Best in the majors with opposing batting averages against him. Pedro Martinez, it won't be easy for the Yankees. They will have to be on their best this afternoon if they want to beat the Expos. David Wells will be on the mound for the Yankees. He will try to turn his last start around and pitch better today for the Yankees. We're going to have it all right here on the WB11. Please stay with us. Baseball is about to resume with interleague play here this afternoon on a beautiful afternoon, even though it's an unusual start for a day game. Bobby Mercer along with Rick Cerrone. And we just finished up with both the Canadian national anthem and also the American national anthem. And we're going to have the first pitch. It's like Andre Agassi.
Yeah, Andre Agassi playing in the U.S. Open, not far from here.
Yeah, he should. He's going to have to throw this first ball out and then rush over to the Arthur Ashe Stadium and play a match.
Let's check out the form, Bobby.
Oh, let's check the hair out. And we'll check the form out. Is he going to be throwing it left-handed or is he ambidextrous? David Wells will wait for this ceremonial first pitch. Well, get it ready, Andre. He's going to throw it right-handed, looks like.
Oh,
Look
man.
at it. Oh, yeah. How about this? He is soaking it for everything it's worth.
Oh, a little ball.
Oh, wait a minute. Andre, all right. A little high and outside, but it was close enough to be called a strike.
He must have been watching Carlos Perez with his antics after throwing a strike.
Good to see him over here at Yankee Stadium having some fun, and he'll put his game face on a little bit later on as he heads back over to the U.S. Open. A lot of congratulations in the dugout by the Yankees, and what a career he has had, and he's got many more years to play, too. And the Yankees have many more games to play before this season is over with.
He doesn't want to leave. I think he wants to help Willie Randolph maybe coach third base.
Well, David Wells will toe the mound for the Yankees this afternoon. David making his 27th start, and he has produced a couple of losses in his last two starts. We'll look at his numbers: 14-7, 126 strikeouts, 38 base on balls. He's given up the long ball in the last three games. That he has pitched in, he has given up the long ball around 6, as a matter of fact.
Well, the thing with David Wells, he comes right after you. Tim Salmon, when he doesn't have it, he's going to give up the home run. He's given up 21 on the season. But one thing about David Wells, he's aggressive. And that was a game-winning home run by Dan Wilson against the Mariners. A complete game loss suffered by David Wells.
Well, he will try to turn it around on this Montreal Expos ball club. They are a very aggressive hitting ball club. And we'll take a look at the Expos lineup. Mark Rozzolani will lead it off for the Expos, followed by Lansing Guerrero. Another fine-looking young man for this ball club. Guerrero will be in there, followed by Segui, White, Fletcher, Vidro, Santangelo, and Strange. Rozzolani will step in. He was the guy that was 0 for last night before he comes up with a big double down the right field line to score the winning run for the Expos. 46 doubles on the year. The fastball swung on and missed. Strike one. You can see the aggressiveness of this Montreal ball club. Talking to Philippe Alou before today's ball game, I said, "Is that something that you talk to your players about, being aggressive?" He said, "Absolutely." He said, "They're young. We know they're going to be aggressive." He said, "They'll learn a lot more as they mature, but we want them to be aggressive." Now the count is 0-2 with that foul ball to Rozzolani.
Yeah, they get off the team bus from the hotel ready to swing the bat. Sometimes that over-aggressiveness a pitcher can use against them. You don't really have to throw them that many strikes. Let them get themselves out.
So you figure that David Wells, who's normally around the strike zone, they will be swinging it almost any and everything that he throws up there. It's an 0-2 count now coming to Rozzolani. There it is, a high fastball swung on and missed, strike one. So Wells is off to a good start.
Well, Bobby, again, he threw him a breaking ball in the dirt that Grudzolanek swung at, and now a high fastball right by him. Don't have to throw that ball down the middle of the plate against the Expos hitters.
Got to bring up the second baseman, Mike Lansing. Lansing batting .301, 16 home runs, 60 RBIs. 14-game hitting streak on the line. And a couple of doubles last night, so he's got his double average up to 39 on the year. Let's strike one quickly to Lansing. 3 for 5 last night, as I mentioned, with an RBI. And there's the breaking ball he could not hold up on. Now it's an 0-2 count.
Yeah, Bobby, let's take a look at the Yankees in the field. Curtis, Williams, O'Neill. Boggs gets another start at third base. Charlie Hayes has got that viral infection. Jeter, Sanchez, Girardi behind the plate, and Tino Martinez at first base. We've talked so much about his hitting with the 125 RBIs, but only 6 errors in 132 ball games at first base for Tino.
He is solid like the guy that he took his place, Don Mattingly. Another swing and a miss, strike 3 on a good curveball from David Wells, and he struck out the first 2 that he's faced here in this game.
Boy, it's amazing. Don't throw him strikes. Look at the curveball from Wells. Bounces, Girardi blocks it, and then the tag of Lansing. Good curveball. That's what David Wells has been doing more and more of late, trying to establish that curveball early in the game.
Vladimir Guerrero swings at a curveball and misses. Only 21 years old. Those are the numbers that he has put up. He has done just about everything that you can do on the minor league level, especially on the AA level. He had a cup of coffee in 1996 with Montreal. He is here to stay this year. He chased a bad curveball in the dirt. Now it's 0-2.
Wow, this is a polo. One bounce.
Well, now we warned you. We said buckle up because this Expo ball club a very aggressive swinging club. And Wells struck out the sides here in the first. That'll be fouled off to the left side. Now Guerrero, Rick, has been nursing some sore ribs that he missed last night's game. Even though he's only 21 years old, Alou thought maybe he would miss this entire series as he tries to get well. But he's already been on the disabled list 3 times this year. Now the foul back and out of play. I don't think Wells has thrown a pitch that they haven't swung at yet, has he?
And it has not been down the middle of the plate. Wells is going to be aggressive. You know, he sat in the dugout yesterday watching the aggressive Expos hitters. And all the attention today has been on Pedro Martinez. So I think David Wells wants to step up big time for the Yankees.
This will be Wells' 11th pitch, and they've all been strikes. And make that a strike, too. Knocked down nicely by Martinez, and a nice executed play by the Yankees. Martinez to Wells. Wells strikes out 2 and 3 here at the top of the first. No score. Yankees coming up. New York Yankees baseball is sponsored by Toyota and your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz for total home entertainment. Nobody beats the Wiz, we know. And by Mazda, experienced cars and trucks built with a passion for the road. Mazda. And by Sun Microsystems and Network is the computer. Well, what a fabulous day it is here on this Labor Day weekend. We hope that you are enjoying this beautiful day and the rest of the weekend. That's Pedro Martinez. And he is on the mound for the Expos this afternoon. Some impressive numbers there. Take a look at the earned run average, 1.61, best in the major leagues, 245 strikeouts. But look at the hits per innings pitched. And this is Derek Jeter right about his way on, leading off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the first. And the Yankee lineup following Jeter will be Raines as the designated hitter, Williams, Martinez, O'Neill, Curtis, Bogg back at third base, Girardi catching this afternoon, and then Ray Sanchez at second. Outside for a ball, 1-1. But those innings pitched, how many times have we started this broadcast to say, look at it's always the reverse. And Jeter gets it started for the Yankees, a semi-jam shot to the opposite field for a base hit. And a throw back to first. Guerrero has a strong arm in the outfield.
We talk about Guerrero. Let's look at the Expos in the field. Santangelo, White, Guerrero in the outfield. Strange, Grudzielanek at shortstop, Lansing at second base, David Segui at first, and Baron Fletcher behind the plate. And this is what we wanted to highlight. Guerrero, 9 assists in the outfield. He's not scared to show off that throwing arm. One of the best in the business.
He has already been compared to Roberto Clemente, Andre Dawson, Barry Bonds. He's got some big shoes to fill, and he's doing a fine job so far. This is Tim Raines. Jeter on at first. And the first pitch lofted into left field. Santangelo makes the play with the glasses down. I suspect that the Sun will maybe play a role as we take a look at the scouting report.
Yeah, that's against righties, fastball and the breaking ball. It's like a slurve. Against lefties, fastball and the best changeup in the game. And that last line is the most important. He will definitely pitch inside. had a reputation as a youngster, as a headhunter, has hit 8 batters on the season this year already, but I like he is aggressive, and he will back you off the plate.
And this is Bernie Williams, a switch hitter, batting from the left side. In there for a call strike to Bernie. Bernie a .330 average, 17 home runs and 75 RBIs. So if you've never seen Pedro Martinez before as an opposing batter, and there's only 2 guys in a lineup that's had that opportunity, O'Neill and Girardi, the reputation precedes himself. Obviously, you've seen some of the tape on him. And the shadows, as we mentioned, with the sunshine, with this 4 o'clock start, that will definitely play a role today.
Score early, if you can, if you're the Yankees. Once those shadows start creeping up, it'll make his 95-mile-an-hour fastball look over 100.
And there's the changeup. He has an outstanding circle change that he throws to left-handers. Batting leaders, month of August, Bernie .405, and since he returned from the disabled list, what a year.
Garcia Parra, too, Bobby, huh? 30-game hitting streak. Bernie, it's amazing to think Bernie can come back from the disabled list, not facing live pitching, and hit over 400.
This goes to show you what kind of athlete he is. Martinez tried to get inside. I understand that Garcia Parra's hitting streak came to an end this afternoon.
At 30 ball games.
At 30 games is what I understand. It came to an end this afternoon.
And that's that Atlanta Brave pitching staff.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Williams. 1 out, 1 man on for the Yankees, bottom of the first inning.
And if there's one weakness that you want to go after, Darren Fletcher's had a horrendous time throwing out base runners. They have stolen 170 bases against the Expos staff.
Little grounder towards the right side. Lansing's only play is to throw out Williams at first. Jeter moves into second at scoring position. And Tino will get a shot at Pedro. That's that changeup that is so effective for Martinez. Gets those hitters way out in front, and he uses it very effectively against left-handed batters. I would suspect that Martinez here, Tino Martinez that is, will get a few of those circle changes. What a year he is having. 125 RBIs. He picked one up last night. He leads the American League. 2 behind in home runs. And if you want to be aggressive, I think this is the time that you would like to be aggressive against Martinez, because if he throws you a fastball strike, you want to be swinging at it if it's close. This is inside.
And that's the new pitch he's been working on, that little cut fastball that he just showed Tino. Almost like a true slider, just to keep the hitters off the changeup away.
Cut fastball is that nasty pitch that he throws 90. There's the changeup there. He throws 90 and just kind of darts in on your hand.
Well, see, it was a perfect example. He showed him the cutter inside, came right back to a changeup down and away. Very difficult to pick up that rotation on the changeup.
So the count is 1-2 on Tino Martinez.
That sequence, you saw Fletcher wanting to maybe throw a fastball away. He shook off.
If you pick it up.
There's a lot of signs.
Can you pick that up? Ball high and away.
And you see, when you're looking at signs, there's a runner on second base. They don't want any cheating going on. You use a sequence of signs. All those signs that Darren Fletcher put down, maybe only one is important. See, he put a 3 down the first thing. It could be like that's the indicator. It's the 3rd sign after that.
Fouled over the Yankee dugout, and a lucky fan with a souvenir.
You don't want to make them too difficult so your pitcher can't understand it. It used to be the first sign after 2. As soon as you put the number 2 down, it would be the first sign after that. You didn't want to get them too confusing because not only the pitcher has to get them, but the middle infielders want to know what's coming.
Do you, as a catcher, ever forget what you're putting down?
A couple of times.
Just blew the fastball by Tino for the strikeout. So the Yankees lead a runner down at second. And we play one here at Yankee Stadium. It's a beautiful day. Montreal and the Yankees hooking up here at the stadium. We'll be back. All right, back to the stadium, top of the second, no score. Richie Garcia, the third base umpire tonight, or this afternoon. He's the crew chief on this staff. Larry Young, Mike Riley, and also Ted Barrett, who's behind home plate. But Richie's father having some heart problems down in Florida. We want to send our best along to him. That's David Segui, first pitch swinging and delivering a base hit into left field. His dad is Eloy Garcia. Maybe he's watching the broadcast this afternoon. If he is, Richie wants to say to you that he hopes that you're doing fine, and then maybe after this series he will stop down and visit you.
Yeah, because of the interleague play, there's 10 games being played in American League ballparks. Normally there's 7 games going on. That's why Richie can't leave at this time. They had to bring up extra umpires to do the interleague games.
Rondell White, the batter. And the breaking ball misses up high. 21 home runs and 66 RBIs. A speedster in center field for Montreal. And the breaking ball again. That one in there for a called strike. David Wells in the top of the first inning struck out 2 of 3 Expos. David Segui, who led off with a base hit here in the second. And another base hit by Montreal. Segui will stop at second. Bernie over there quickly to recover it. So here in the second inning, the first 2 men are on. And that'll bring up the catcher, Darren Fletcher.
Starting to get the fastball over the plate where the Expos hitters can be aggressive. Look at that ball, middle of the plate. Rondell White doesn't miss it. We remember how aggressive they are as hitters. Try to keep it out of the middle of the plate if you're David Wells.
Okay, go back to the first inning. He threw 11 pitches to 3 batters, and I don't know how many were not strikes, probably 9 of 11, but they were swinging at him and chasing him in the dirt. Darren Fletcher, the batter. Yankees looking for the bunt, and he is not bunting. That's on the outside corner for a called strike.
Look at Fletcher's numbers, 16 home runs, 50 RBIs. One reason he's probably not bunting, Bobby, because he's a dead pull hitter. Philippe Alou wants him to try to pull the ball to advance the runners. Maybe he might just get himself a base hit.
Pulls that one down the right field line and high and deep. O'Neill will look up and it is gone. O'Neill thinks that a fan maybe took the ball away from him. That's the fan there in the green shirt. But I couldn't tell from here. All I know is that it's a 3-run home run, and Montreal leads it 3-0.
Well, we were just talking about Richie Garcia. That's the infamous play with Jeter at the plate against the Orioles last year. Very similar play. There's Richie. He's glad he's standing at third base today and not first base. He didn't have to be in Mike Riley's shoes today. Watch O'Neill drift back to the wall. He thinks he's got a beat on it. Look at his eyes. Right there, that ball is in play. He's going to make the catch. There is no doubt about that. He is going to make the catch because you watch his eyes. The eyes don't lie. Right in great position, the fan reaches over the fence and takes it away from Jeter, from O'Neill.
That's the reaction from David Wells. He can't believe it. as he has been giving up the long ball. One more look at
it. Yeah, look at Paul's eyes. His eyes are right on the baseball. He's got that ball. It's in his glove. The fan takes it away from him.
And a reaction from O'Neill. Certainly dissatisfied with the interference out in the outfield section of right field here at Yankee Stadium. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, what goes around comes around. But you wouldn't expect it to happen from your own fans here at your own ballpark. This is Jose Vidro. It's a 3-0 count coming to him now. And that pitch up high. Now, how will it affect David Wells?
Well, I think you've already seen how it affects him. That should have been an out. He would have advanced the runner. I think they got the wrong guy there. I saw a guy in the... Oh, maybe they need some eyewitnesses, but they're on it. The security is on it. That cost the Yankees at least 2 more runs. But you could tell by O'Neill's reaction. He had the ball. He measured it, timed his leap, and you can see from the replay, excellent replay, the kid's hand come right inside of O'Neill's glove.
And this is F.P. Santangelo. I think the reaction after the play told you more about it than anything else.
You know, one other thing, too, in the postseason, you have extra umpires. Today you have 4 umpires. In the postseason against the Orioles, there were 6 umpires, and Richie Garcia's job was to be down the outfield lines. So a little tougher call for Mike Riley to see.
That pitch foul back and out of play.
See where Richie is? He's at third base. You know, we can go back.
Yeah,
we can go back in time. There's Mike Riley at first, but in the playoffs, you have extra umpires.
Right now, we've got the shadows creeping in around home plate. And the 0-2 pitch catches the inside corner for strike 3, 1 out. Well, we saw that play that O'Neill missed in the right field just a moment ago. Let's go back to the playoffs and the American League Championship Series, and that Jeffrey Mayer play in right field. Derek Jeter.
Tony Tarasco drifts back. It looks like he has a play. Jeffrey Mayer reaches over. Richie Garcia. You see where Tarasco is? Garcia is right there because of the extra outfielders. He was right on top of the play, but he said he wished he had to do it over because now, as he's seen so many replays, said Jeffrey Mayer, the young kid from, I think it was Mahwah, New Jersey, had reached out onto the playing field. We just went back in time to last year, and now we're today. O'Neill, eyes on the baseball, jumps, takes it right out of his glove for a 3-run homer for Darren Fletcher.
This is Doug Strange popping it up behind home plate. And Girardi makes the play. Well, the question would be, was the ball indeed over the fence in right field? If it wasn't over the fence, there would be interference. If it was over the fence, then the fans have a right to reach out, you know, and try to make a play themselves, and it's everybody do their best job. And it appeared that ball was over the right field fence.
See, Bobby, these seats, the one thing, see these seats, there's some distance between here and the seats. It's like a little walkway between that guardrail. And I don't know how they keep getting beyond that guardrail to get by that outfield wall.
Well, all you got to do is just walk up there.
Yeah, you can walk around it. I know there's not going to be
around it.
Somebody standing there, security all the time, but that definitely cost the Yankees some runs.
Well, it may be one of those plays that's talked about for a long, long time, just like in a championship series between Baltimore and the Yankees. That play was heard around the world. And this is Kruzalani batting for the second time.
Yeah, a little different circumstances. That Jeter home run in that championship series, there's the walkway I'm talking about. They're getting there. They have to get there. I know. They're not. Hey, they won a baseball. Can't blame them, but it cost the Yankees some runs. That Jeter home run was off of Benitez in the 8th inning of that ball game.
Damage has been done by Montreal here in the second, highlighted by that controversial play in right field. Darren Fletcher's home run, a 3-run shot. And we go to the bottom of the second with the extra. All right, bottom of the second inning. Montreal now leads at 3-0. Let's check our Delta Airlines upcoming schedule. And the Expos are finished tomorrow with this 3-game series. It starts at 1 o'clock on MSG. Then the Yankees move over to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies at 1 o'clock. That'll be right back here on the WB11 along with Tuesday night's game at 7 and back on MSG at 6:30 on Wednesday. And then you know what happens after that. The big series at Baltimore comes to town. And Paul O'Neill, first pitch swinging back to Martinez, one gone.
We're going to go back to the O'Neill play again on the Fletcher home run. Drifts back. I mean, he can. It was very close, but you could see the fan reach over, and then O'Neill in the Yankee dugout with David Wells. Took it right out of him, right out of my hand. See David Wells' reaction, the 22nd home run he's given up. That one never left the ballpark.
This is Chad Curtis. 1 ball, no strike count to Curtis with one out here in the second. Good numbers for Chad. But now you got to contend with the fact that you got the guy with the best earned run average in the major leagues, 1.61, pitching this game. You got the shadows creeping out there between the pitcher and the batter, which will make it even more harder to hit. And he's got a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, that's not a good sign for the Yankees.
Well, based on those stats.
Yeah, based on those numbers, but you don't play the game by the numbers, and on paper you play it on the field. And Felipe Lewis said he has started 20. This is his 26th game. Of his 25 starts, he has not had one bad outing. That's an amazing stat. He has worked into the 5th one time. Went 5 innings. That was his shortest outing of the season. Everything else is 7, 8, 9 with 11 complete games.
And then you mentioned that the new pitch that he's come up with, that pitch found back now to play, the cut fastball, the one that he came up with right after the All-Star game. So he adds that to the fastball that he has. And then the great circle change that he has that he gets left-handed hitters out on.
And you're wondering, how does he lose? Well, when he lost his 6 ball games, the Expos didn't score any runs.
They were really only supporting him with about 1.6 runs per game.
Played together with his brother Ramon Martinez in Los Angeles, and then came over to the Expos. 5 straight double-digit win season, 5th major league season.
Pitch foul out of play.
When I went around the Yankee clubhouse talking to Tim Raines, who never faced him. I was surprised he never faced Pedro Martinez. I did talk to Ray Sanchez, and what everybody said, Joe Girardi loves to pitch inside, and he's got the best changeup in baseball.
Well, he goes outside for a called strike 3 on Chad Curtis there. So 2 strikeouts now for Martinez, and his 2 gone.
Set up by the pitches inside and then locates that fastball in the outside part of the plate. That's almost illegal. At the knees, down and away on the black. Now here, see, this is, Bobby, I was mentioning. Here's where Riley is. He's got to run all the way down here on the O'Neill play.
This is Wade Boggs.
You know, so you could almost understand. See Riley's position here. He's got to run. His head's bouncing. The play happens here. When Richie Garcia the play happened, he was right down that right field line.
Soft fly ball into center field. Rondell White with good speed catches up with it. The Yankees go 1-2-3 here in the second inning. So we've played 2 now. And the Expos lead it over the Yankees 3-0. All right, top of the 3rd here at the stadium. Montreal in front 3-0. So don't forget, fans, we'll take a look at our website here for up-to-the-minute scores and highlights, plus your complete WB11 Yankees broadcast schedule. Check out Sal Marciano's scoreboard on the WB11 website. Visit the www.wb11.com. And Mike Lansing swings and misses. Now it's an 0-2 count for Lansing, leading off here in the third. Well, a lot happening already in the first 2 innings of this game. Montreal leads at 3-0. Lansing, who struck out back in the first inning. We'll see if he throws him another strike. That's the breaking ball, and Lansing finally lays off the one. It's inside for a ball. 39 doubles on the year for Lansing. Well, you take Lansing and Grozalanek. Grozalanek leads in doubles with 46. Lansing now has 39, but he's also got a couple of strikeouts in this game.
See those shadows in front of home plate? A hitter actually loses the ball. Very difficult to pick up rotation, so you would think that for both the Expos and the Yankee hitters, a difficult time of day to see it and hit it hard.
And this is Guerrero batting for the second time. Strike one to Guerrero. He grounded out to end the inning in the first. Guerrero in the Eastern League tabbed as the best defensive outfielder, best batting prospect, best power hitter, the owner of the league's best outfield arm. And you can just go on and on and on. But for 21 years of age, he has been on the disabled list, as I mentioned 3 times already. This is lofted down the right field line, and it will be back at the stands.
Yeah, Bobby, and one of those things that Felipe Alou mentioned was his injuries. Only has about 280 plate appearances. Fractured a left foot, pulled a right hamstring. That fractured left hand was by a pitch up and in that he got drilled by. So he said, same thing that happened to Rondell White last season. Was injured, and you see the numbers he's starting to put together this year for Rondell White. Expect the exact same for Guerrero if he stays healthy next season.
He plays hard. That's in on his hand. Jeter will have to hurry. He's got good speed. But Jeter also has a pretty good arm, so he throws out Guerrero, and there's 2 gone. Well, in our interleague play on the Nobody Beats the Wiz scoreboard, the Mets got 5 runs on Baltimore in the 9th inning. Atlanta run over Boston 15-2. Garcia Parra's hitting streak stopped at 30. Florida and Toronto don't score at 3. And there's 2 outs here. And this is David Segui, who got it started for Montreal with a base hit to lead off the second.
He's got the sunglasses and the tape underneath him.
And he hits that one hard, knocked down by Jeter. High throw, but I think Martinez came down on the bag, but no, he did not, says Riley at first. It's that split decision call that you have to make. Out quickly is Joe Torre.
You almost read Joe Torre's lips. 2 balls in a row. Jeter's had a tough time handling. A little high throw. Martinez up. He comes back down. And from that angle, he definitely beat Segui at first base.
It appeared from where I was at that he came down on the bag before Segui.
This angle will really show it. What's on the bag?
Yeah, he was on the bag.
But again, we have the advantage of a couple of replays. High throw from Jeter and his reaction.
That is the 18th error by Derek Jeter at shortstop this year. So with 2 outs, the man is on. And this is Rondell White. Lined hard down the left field line, and it could be, and it is. A home run, a 2-run shot. After the error, here in the third, and it's 2 more runs, and Montreal leads it 5-0.
Well, you look at Jeter, and Wells now 8 home runs in his last 3 ball games. 23 home runs allowed on the season, and Rondell White, first pitch fastball into the left field seats, and you see Jeter upset at that call by Riley. 2 controversial calls by Mike Riley has led to 5 Expos runs. First pitch fastball, middle in, hammered to left field for a 2-run homer.
Expos came into the game. Darren Fletcher hitting. How's that one out of play? Fletcher with his 3-run shot back in the third, of the second, that is. But the Expos came in with 140 home runs. They've already hit 2 here today. That's 142. That's third in the National League. And that's to a young, aggressive, offensive ball club
that has nothing to lose. They played real well up until the All-Star break, and then they fell out of contention with the way Florida and Atlanta were playing. Not even in the wild card race anymore, but they're loose and easy. Free swinging, just having fun. Come into Yankee Stadium, you expect them maybe to be a little in awe. Hey, look at this place. Monuments in the outfield. Wow, this is where Ruth and Garrett played. We haven't seen it so far.
Off the end of the bat. Giving chase is Boggs in fair territory. He makes the play, but the error leads to 2 runs here in the third. And it's a home run ball plaguing the Yankees this afternoon. Bottom of the third coming up. All right, here in the bottom of the third, the Yankees have some makeup to do, behind 5-0. But the Orioles come to town starting next Thursday in that big series between Baltimore and New York. It'll start Friday. There'll be another game on Friday at 7:30. And it's Saturday at 1 o'clock, back to school folder day. And then next Sunday at 1:30. The tickets are available at the Yankee Stadium ticket window. And you don't want to miss that series there. David Wells in between innings. Not a happy camper. He's behind 5-0. And this is Girardi leading off here in the third. 2 guys have faced Martinez besides O'Neill. Girardi, who is 2 for 6. Got a couple of hits off of Martinez. That's the breaking ball in there. It's an 0-2 count now. If I was Girardi with that sun behind the clouds, I'd get in there and try to get as quick as possible. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 3 strikeouts now for Martinez. 1 down here in the third.
248 strikeouts on the season, on pace for 300. And he's going after the record. He needed 6 coming into today. You look at the good breaking ball. 3 better than average pitches from Pedro Martinez. Good hard curveball. That's what Girardi was talking about, a foul tip that Fletcher held on to.
And this is Sanchez outside for a ball.
Yeah, I mentioned the Expos record for all-time in Ks in 1 year was Bill Stoneman, who's their vice president. 251 strikeouts in 71. So he needs 3 more to tie, 4 to go ahead for the all-time Expos record. Bill Stoneman. Did you ever face Bill Stoneman?
I don't think so. Maybe in spring training. 2-0 count coming to Sanchez. Now it's 2-1.
You see how that ball just explodes on the hitters? I mean, it's a very difficult delivery. I faced his brother Ramon. He throws his body at you, and then all of a sudden the arm just, it picks up speed.
And it's got a lot of movement to it. As you can see, the ball moving back on the outside corner. It's a 2-2 count coming to Sanchez now. He wastes no time. In on the hands, and a fly ball to center field, and there's 2 gone here in the third. You can see that Martinez wastes no time. He knows what he wants to do. Fletcher puts the signs down. Got his fans club. He's from the Dominican Republic, along with Guerrero.
And the Dodgers signed him as a 17-year-old kid in 1988.
Well, you can probably figure that this is the last year, probably, for Martinez with Montreal. You hate to say that. Either swings and misses, but he was on an arbitration year last year. They somehow settled out of arbitration. He's back on arbitration this year. If he wins the Cy Young, I mean, he's on the road to his best year ever. Maddox just signed a big contract, $11.5 million a year. What do you think?
He has got better numbers than anybody in baseball this season. The only one that comes close is maybe Roger Clemens with the 1.72 ERA in the American League. But to do what he's done for the Expos is amazing.
1-2 count to Jeter. We talked about the Cy Young candidates, and Denny Nagel, Maddox, Kyle, and Martinez. You got to remember the teams that they pitched for and the ERAs, and this guy has really been a dominant pitcher in 1997. We played 3 here at the stadium, and Montreal has a 5-0 lead. All right, top of the 4th inning, Montreal leads at 5-0. Martinez resting that valuable arm and hand as he awaits his turn here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Montreal leads off with Jose Vidro, the designated hitter. That's an 0-2 count on Vidro. Felipe's saying, well, I've been looking for a designated hitter. Couldn't find, I don't know if I can find the right guy to DH. So hard shot to Jeter at shortstop as he throws out Vidro. But, you know, to go back and forth, to get out of that frame of mind, you know, for the National League style of managing to the American League style, and, you know, vice versa, obviously. And they've got a real controversy going on now about realignment, what they will do with the DH. Will they ban the DH altogether? We know they won't.
Never can happen.
Yeah. Or will they institute the designated hitter throughout baseball?
Well, I think they finally started to realize that people around the country don't want to see drastic realignment. I think George Steinbrenner is one of the only owners that came out and said, why are we rushing into something like this? You know, to help 2 expansion clubs that are coming into baseball. We're going to destroy everything that baseball has, the tradition. You're going to make 15 teams move leagues. It's almost like starting it all over again.
Yeah, and if with the drastic realignment, either you have the DH or you don't. I mean, there's going to be a lot of different things that you're going to have to deal with. Let's check out the Toyota box score for Montreal. Well, you can see that the home run ball, White, Fletcher, back to back there, and they're the guys that have made the difference so far. 5-0 as Montreal leads it. But I agree with Mr. Steinbrenner about the fact that they don't need to rush into anything. And he happens to be watching today's game. I'm sure he's not too happy with what he's seeing here in the 2 games against Montreal. That's hit hard, but foul.
Yeah, but no other owner really has come out and said, why are they rushing into this? They realized that there had to be a scheduling problem if you're going to put 2 teams and have unbalance in both leagues. That means you'd have to have an interleague game every day of the season to keep all the games equal. I think he's right. Don't rush into something.
A little slow roller. Tough play for a ball to third. In fact, it won't be any play. So an infield hit for Santangelo. Well, as far as realignment, it's not going to be easy to make it something that will be acceptable to everybody. But the thing that they have to realize that they better get their, I'm talking about the ownership, they better get their P's and Q's straight with the Players Association. That's where they start first. They've got to satisfy them before they go. They're going to be able to do anything. It's a test that what they've never have, and that's been the problem. See,
the other thing you mentioned, the DH and 15 teams changing divisions. What about the organizations that have to go from, say, the American League to the National League, where the pitchers have to hit? If it stays the same way, well, that affects the entire organization from your minor league system all the way up. If they want drastic realignment, I suggest they take about 3 years' time and then implement it. But let everybody know throughout baseball that this is what's happening. Prepare your farm system that way, and maybe that might work in the long run.
Santangelo on at first. This is Strange. And he will foul it down the right field line. What was it? Tom Kelly, manager for Minnesota. They were talking about putting Minnesota in the National League. He said, look, they put me in the National League in 1998. How can I score runs? I won't even be able to win a game.
Yeah, I'll lose my best player.
Yeah.
Paul Molitor won't be able to play. You know, Joe Torre, he's managed in both leagues. But I just think it's crazy that And I was wondering where they got fan opinion. That's almost like those ratings that they have, those boxes in the TV homes, the ratings, Nielsen ratings. Have you ever met anybody that has one of those boxes in their house where they judge how popular shows are?
I think they do it by phone, don't they? They don't do it by...
Have you ever met anybody?
They do it by boxes.
Have you ever met anybody?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's why when the owners came out and said, well, overwhelmingly, the fans want realignment. Well, what fans did they talk to? Because everybody we talked to said they would hate that because it would destroy all the history in baseball.
Well, you know, of course, there's a lot of talk about it with the talk shows.
I thought you were one of the Nielsen homes. You had that box in the house.
I'm one of the Mercer homes. Another foul off to the left side. Nevertheless, Felipe Alou, almost every year he has to go through realignment on his ball club with new players. I mean, it's a total turnover for him. And it looks like that he will lose Martinez, his best pitcher for 1998, so he'll have to come up with somebody else. Just the way that franchise is set up. And the dirt gets away from Girardi, so Santangelo will move down to second.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Girardi actually gets his body behind it, but then he just can't locate it. Watch how he shifts inside with this breaking ball. Hits him right in the chest protector, but he looks up, and the ball's on the ground.
Oh, you talk about the small market clubs and the big market clubs. Well, you're seeing a prime example here. Did he lay off of it? No, he did not. Strange went around, so it's a strikeout. And number 4 from Wells, and there's 2 gone. Number 5, I mean, 5 strikeouts now for Wells. That's that big curveball that he featured back in the first inning. But I think the Expos total salary is somewhere around $15 million, maybe $13, $14 million. The Yankees are $65 or $66 million. How about that?
Big difference.
Big difference.
You know, we mentioned Paul Molitor. You see the number 4 on Grudzielanic's back? That's who he idolized as a kid, and he really patterned himself. Physically, he looks like Paul Molitor. I'm talking about in the face and everything, but what he tries to do, be short and quick to the baseball like Molitor. Very small stride.
That pitch on the outside corner, 0-2. Grudzielanik only 3 shy in the double department of the National League record for a shortstop.
And there's those doubles you're talking about, 46, that tied Warren Cromartie for the most doubles in Expos history.
When you have a young ball club such as the one that Felipe Alou has, when they talk about stats, almost every category, they are setting a new, career record for themselves because their career obviously is so young anyway. An 0-2 count, and Girardi and Wells cannot get together on what pitch they want to throw.
You know, Bobby, you were talking about the big market and the small market teams, and I think Felipe Alou had a great comment yesterday in his office saying, well, we are the farm system for Major League Baseball. And what he meant by that, we develop the young talent, give them an opportunity to play, but then we can't afford them anymore, and they have to move on to other teams. The Wetlands, the Grissams, the Walkers, and the Alous.
Chopper right side. This will be a tough play. Martinez back to Wells. It'll be no play. They'll come home to try to get the run. And Montreal will steal another run here in the 4th inning. Not paying attention to the runner at second and the play at first. And Montreal just keeps running. And Santangelo scores.
Base hit and an RBI for Grudzielanik. You knew this was going to be a tough play. Grudzielanik runs very well. Wells a little late getting off the bag, but good hustle by Santangelo. Never hesitated at third base, scored easily.
Now Montreal has scored a run here in this inning, and the ball probably, both base hits have not traveled more than 15 feet. And this will bring up Mike Lansing. Could this be another one? Girardi will have to hurry, and he makes a perfect throw this time, but Montreal fields a run here in the fourth. They played 3.5, and they lead it 6-0. New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by your Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz. For total home entertainment, nobody beats the Wiz, we know. Beautiful day for baseball here this afternoon. Pretty good crowd on hand for the second game of this interleague series between the Yankees and Montreal. And it won't be easy for the Yankees now with Raines leading off here in the fourth. They are behind 6-0. And Raines, who is 0 for 1 in the game. So this is the biggest uphill battle that the Yankees, I think, have had all year long. If you check out Martinez and what he has done throughout the National League and the American League through interleague play.
Yeah, his numbers in interleague play, he's 2-0 with a 0.50 ERA.
Inside corner for a called strike on a 2-0 pitch.
You know what that means? He's given up 1 earned run. 1 run in 18 innings. Both complete game victories against the American League this season.
He has set down 9 in a row after giving up that leadoff base hit to Derek Jeter in the first inning.
Goes out there with no hit stuff every time out on the mound. Look at the Toyota box score. The only base hit, Jeter. And that ball was hit off the knuckles.
That's that cut fastball.
But you're seeing a pitcher at the top of his game, showing you how he controls both sides of the plate. There's the cut fastball inside to keep the hitters honest. Raines fouled off I think he fouled it off his toe. Then he'll work the changeup down and away. And he can throw a high fastball about 95 miles an hour right by you.
Tell you what, baseball has a way of humbling everybody, not only an individual. And there's a few people that will vote for a Cy Young for this young pitcher right here. But the Yankees, what was it, only a month ago? I mean, things were just going along so smoothly for them. And now they are struggling. They're not playing well. They've got problems with their pitching staff.
That's the key, Bobby.
Yeah, and they've, you know, there's some problems with getting enough guys work, getting them into the game. Pitch found back in our play. That's just how quickly it can change. And now they are scuffling a little bit.
Yeah, they're scuffling, and it comes down to pitching, starting pitching. Wells has been roughed up in 3 straight outings. Cone is on the disabled list. Look at David Wells, 8 home runs in his last 3 outings.
Mariano Rivera out of the bullpen has struggled a bit, even though they haven't really hit the ball that hard, but he has struggled.
And you look ahead, it's not going to get much better unless things can turn around with the starting pitching. They're going to have to go. You see David Cone, he may be ready to pitch in that Baltimore series. Andy Pettit's reliable. He's there. He's the workhorse. But you got question marks with Arabu, who's starting Monday. Gooden, who's starting Tuesday, as Raines draws the base on balls. And we're going to look at Pedro Martinez and why is he successful. First inning, 95-mile-an-hour heater right by him. Curtis frozen on a fastball down and away, and then the breaking ball takes over. Girardi a foul tip, and Jeter, that is just an illegal breaking ball. Hard and down and away.
4 strikeouts for Martinez, only 1 base hit and 1 walk. That's to Tim Raines leading off here in the 4th. And this is Bernie. Could be 2. Lansing with a quick pivot, but not quick enough at second. And Bernie hustling down the line, beats the throw.
Change up off the end of the bat to Bernie Williams. Strange, a good feed. Lansing thought he had the double play, but good hustle by Bernie Williams. Here it comes. Rains bearing down on Lansing. Gets out of there. Bernie with that little leap just beat the throw.
Pretty close at first. And this is Tino. Strike one to Tino. Martinez, the first strikeout victim for Pedro Martinez. Now it's an 0-2 count.
First pitch, fastball down and in for a strike. Second pitch, fastball down and away for a strike. You know he's got the good cutter, changeup, or a high fastball. So he's got 3 pitches, Bobby. That's the difference. He's got 3 pitches right now. Tino doesn't have any idea. You just got to try to make contact with it.
You will see a lot of guys that have, good hard stuff, the good hard slider and the good fastball, but they don't have another pitch to complement that, like a circle change, like Martinez have, and that's what makes all of his pitches complement each other. And when you go up there, as you mentioned, what the heck do you look for?
The thing is, he's got such a great delivery. Some pitchers slow down their delivery when they throw a changeup. He has the exact same motion on a fastball or a changeup.
And there's a changeup hit off the end of the bat. The only play is to first base. Bernie will end up at second. So 2 gone here in the 4th, and Paul O'Neill will hit. That's that circle change.
Yeah, watch the changeup. Remember, the good fastballs. Look, it's off the end of the bat. 2 balls in this inning. Bernie Williams and now Tino Martinez. A couple of guys that know how to handle the bat. Way out in front on the changeup. When you go up there against a guy like Pedro Martinez, this is a one-for guy. Hopefully, you'll squeeze 1 hit after 4 at-bats off him.
By O'Neill. O'Neill is 0 for 1. Lifetime, he is 0 for 4 now against Martinez. And it's probably, at this point in the game, the toughest for the batter to see because of the shadow now out beyond the pitcher. And that pitch swung on and missed, strike 2. Swung on and foul back on a play. But that bright sunshine in center field, in that shady area,
no fun.
This makes me happy that I'm broadcasting this game today.
And you know what? The Yankee fans have been lucky this season. They got to see the Braves come into town. Greg Maddux, the gem that he pitched against the Yankees, and now Pedro Martinez. The one advantage that interleague play, you get to see the best players. For the Yankee fans, they've got to see Pedro Martinez and Greg Maddux almost side by side and make their own decision. Who deserves the Cy Young?
New York's a little bit different than some of the other cities that has interleague play because of the Mets on the other side. So they're familiar with some of the great players in the National League. Lansing will backhand it, and he will throw out O'Neill. So the Yankees will leave 1 stranded here in the 4th. And we've played 4 here at the stadium. Pedro Martinez and the Expos lead it 6-0. It's a good day for cotton candy here in the top of the 5th. Montreal in front 6-0. Vladimir Guerrero leads it off for Montreal. The rookie right fielder is 0 for 2 this afternoon. He'll be followed by Segui and then White. What do you notice a little different from Guerrero, even though he's 21? He doesn't have any batting gloves on. Doesn't look like he has any pine tar on the bat. He just goes at it like good old hardball should be.
Doesn't worry about those blisters on the hand.
Nope. A little soft fly ball out towards shortstop, and there's 1 gone. Well, a lot has happened in this game so far, Rick, starting in the second inning.
Yeah, this was the controversial play. O'Neill thought he had the ball. A fan reaches over, three-run home run for Fletcher. Then Jeter bobbles the ball, high throw, but Martinez comes down on the bag. He was called safe. Next hitter, Rondell White, two-run homer. So there's 5 of the 6 Expos runs on some controversial calls.
And then they got another run in the 4th inning. David Segui, the batter. They got that other run in the 4th inning on 2 infield hits that didn't travel more than 15 feet. Just kind of stole one from the Yanks. Inside and high. Let's take a look at that ball out into right field.
Yeah.
Is the ball over the fence or not over the fence?
Well, Bobby, okay, here you go. You're right. See, the ball is over the fence. But look at where the ball comes in. I mean, he's got his glove there. He's going to make the catch. But I think you're right. The ball was over the fence. Hey, and for Mike Riley at first base, the umpire, that is a very difficult call because he has to react by 2 things. The flight of the ball and O'Neill's reaction. He saw how O'Neill had to jump.
All right, the controversial play last year in the championship series, they claimed that the ball was not over the fence, that the fan reached out onto the playing field and caught it.
So what you're saying, you think that's fair game where that ball was positioned?
Jeter will throw out Segui, and there's 2 gone. I just say that, you know, that's so close, and the fans have a right. You know, once the ball's in the stands, the fans have a right to try to retrieve it. Most of the time, you don't see them taking a ball out of a player's glove.
Well, that's great camera, but you're right. The ball is over, but you see where his hand is right here. Watch his hand. This hand, that hand came out over the fence. You're right, though. If O'Neill wasn't able to jump, that ball would have landed in the first row.
Nevertheless, it's a 3-run home run, and that was Darren Fletcher who hit it. It has not been a good day for the Yankees. And this is Rondell White. 0-1 count to him with 2 outs here in the 5th. He hit that home run after the error back in the 3rd. And now it's an 0-2 count coming to him. Off the end of the bat, it will fall down the right field line. White with good speed, and he is turning it towards second, easily making it with 2 outs. And you can just see how aggressive this hitting club is for Montreal. I mean, that pitch way out of the strike zone. I mean, if it's anywhere within 4 or 5 feet, they're going to be hacking at it.
Well, a couple of things. They're aggressive, plus it's difficult to see, so you're more apt to swing at bad pitches. You just try to locate the ball and go after it. Off the end of the bat, that ball stays fair. And Rondell White, a single, a homer, and a double. He just needs a triple for the cycle.
And he's probably going to get maybe 2 more shots at it. He's got the speed to come up with a triple, too. That would be hitting for the cycle if he does. Nevertheless, he's down at second. And this is Darren Fletcher. 3-run shot back in the 2nd. His big blow of the day. Montreal in front 6-0. Swinging again and fouling the ball out of play.
Darren Fletcher, we were teammates in '92, and he's on his last year of a contract, a free agent at the end of the season. And Philippe Alou said he'll probably be moving on. That's why he's taking a good long look at Chris Widger, catcher they picked up from Seattle. It's like a proving ground. You get promoted to the big leagues once you leave Montreal. You earn your stripes here, you become a great player, and then you go on somewhere else, help them win championships like Wetland did for the Yankees last season.
Well, you know, I was asking a guy in the organization, have you ever had a $5 million a year player? He couldn't tell me. I don't think they've ever had a $5 million player. Martinez, the pitcher, is making $3+ million. Swing and a miss by Fletcher. Girardi will throw him out, and the inning is over with. 2-out double. who is stranded at second. And we've played 4.5 here at the stadium. Big work for the Yankees coming up. And it's about the championship here in 1997. And Montreal leads this second game 6-0. And Curtis leading off here in the 5th. Curtis a strikeout victim in the 2nd. Only one hit off of Martinez so far in this game. Well hit in the left field, but Santangelo is there. One out.
That's really the first ball that the Yankees have hit hard against Pedro Martinez. Their only base hit was Jeter leading off the ball game. Little jam shot to right field.
So Boggs will step in. Boggs played in last night's game, a late addition as Charlie Hayes was scratched with a viral infection in his throat. Hayes unable to play this afternoon, so Boggs, after a couple of hits last night, plays again at third. Lines this one hard into right field, and Guerrero is there. So they've tried left field, now right field. Neither one has worked for the Yankees, and it's two gone.
Boggs pulls this ball hard. Fastball gets the bat out in front. Thinks he has a base hit. It just carried to the right fielder, Guerrero.
And Girardi swinging at the first pitch, fouling it out of play.
We got some guests in our booth today. Nick Rizzatello, his son Angelo, and Nicholas. And they sent cookies, Bobby. I know you like that. Some nice cookies from Aunt Lena. Italian cookies. They were outstanding.
Well, they were.
There they are.
I forget what he called them, but they had some pine nuts on the top of them. Great Italian cookies.
Now, can you believe it? I'm on a board of directors with the New Jersey Sports Hall of Fame, and for an auction, we auctioned off some time in the booth. They wanted to spend it with Bobby Mercer.
They must have paid big money for that. Swing and a miss by Girardi. Strikeout number 5 for Martinez. And we've played 5 here at the stadium, and the Expos lead it 6-0. Back at the stadium, Bobby Mercer along with Rick Cerrone. Top of the 6th inning. Expos 6, Yankees nothing. Designated hitter Jose Vidro. First pitch swinging, and a line drive single into center field. Well, we want to remind you that you can mark your calendars now for the most anticipated football game of the season. It's Bill Parcells battling his former team for the first time when the Jets take on the New England Patriots. That's live September the 14th at 8 o'clock right here on the WB11. We hope you'll be with us.
The Big Tuna era.
And he's already made a big impact.
Oh, undefeated in preseason.
Well, he loves baseball, Parcells.
Oh, he loves.
Is he a part owner in one of the minor league clubs around here?
He tried to get involved in the Birmingham Barons, but that deal fell through. He loves minor league baseball.
Santangelo fouls that pitch out of play, and it's a 1-1 count to him.
I mentioned Parcells, and he lives in Seagirt, New Jersey, wanted to come back. And he's got all the reins with the Jets, and they're going to be excited. He was very surprised with the talent they have.
Well, I think it's been called one of the most improved teams now in football. And, of course, that's what they've been looking for around this New York area. The Jets have been down for so long.
The one thing, don't get too excited, because they went undefeated. The last time the Jets went undefeated in preseason, they went 4-12. And Browning Nagel was the quarterback.
Well, Browning can sing, and he can play golf. I know that. 2-2 count to Santangelo. Nobody out here in the 6th.
Well, Bobby, I got to ask you. You said Browning Nagel sings and plays golf. Which did you do with him? Were you singing
Well,
a little duet together?
No.
Golf tournament?
I don't. I sing alone. I don't sing with other partners. I do play golf with other people, but I'm a shower singer and do quite well.
You enjoy yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I mean, you're your best audience then.
You ought to hear the reverberation in there. It's fantastic. I didn't realize I had that kind of vocal cords.
Well, we get you in between innings when you start singing along with the music that's going on. Matter of fact, they taped that a couple of times on you. Got to be careful what you do.
I stopped it. Found right above us here. And the count remains 2-2. Montreal 6, Yankees nothing. Boy, Montreal has just mowed down everybody in interleague play. They come into this game with 8 wins against only 2 losses.
Yeah, with Baltimore's loss today to the Mets, they dropped to 8-3 in interleague play. So the Expos, the best record in interleague play.
Hit hard. Boggs is there. Can he turn a double play? No, not in time, but Boggs makes a heck of a play just to take a base hit away and forces the runner at second.
I never understood how a third baseman can do this. Goes down to his knee, a 360 to second base. Look, 360 and then an accurate throw. I know if I was trying to do that, I'd be dizzy, and the ball would probably go into the outfield. Look at this, down to one knee, 360 pivot, and then right on the money.
You don't have to be a third baseman to throw the ball in the outfield. Doug Strain's the batter, the switch hitter, batting from the right side. He's 0 for 2. He is struck out and fouled out. Yeah, that new stuff. You can see that black underneath Strange's eyes. That's a strip of tape that they put on. Now, this could be 2. Boggs to Sanchez, and Sanchez couldn't get out of the glove. It wasn't a perfect throw from Boggs, so they get another force play at second, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, the feed from Boggs this time takes Sanchez a little bit into the base path. See how he had to reach back towards the sliding base runner?
Santangelo, I think he may have been out the baseline a little bit. He was way out there to try to break up the double play.
Well, they're coming in hard at second base. They're hustling all the way. Talked about that run they stole in the 4th inning. Just good base running by Santangelo and Grudzielanek.
Grudzielanek now. Sends in from fairly deep in the center field. Bernie's got a beat on it. So despite the base hit to lead off the inning, no damage done, and we've played 5 1/2. The Yankees have a lot of work to do. We'll be back. All right, back to the stadium. Nice crowd on hand. 6-0 Montreal here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, I think that baseball with interleague play certainly has picked up in the attendance. I think that the attendance was up like 18, 19, 22%, something in that area.
Yeah, I think interleague play has done that. Little jolt in the arm for baseball.
Ray Sanchez leads it off for the Yankees. A hard shot, but foul off the first pitch from Martinez. Martinez now has thrown 63 pitches in the game and 44 strikes. 13 of 18 of the first pitches have been strikes 2. And that's strike 2 on Ray Sanchez. Well, the one thing that the Expos hitters, they don't waste any time, and neither does the pitcher. Look at that pitch. Beautiful curveball to the outside corner, strike 3.
Well, you just tip your hat to him.
Well, we want you to mark your calendars now, because beginning September the 15th, Frazier's moving to the WB11's late night lineup. And you can get set for a full hour of nonstop laughs. That's 5 nights a week, starting with Seinfeld at 11, followed by Frasier at 11:30. It's one happy hour you won't want to miss. Saturday, September the 15th only on the WV11.
Yeah, Bobby, that was his 6th strikeout of the ball game, and now he ties the Expo record with Bill Stoneman.
Grounder to Algalani, gets short as he throws out Jeter. 2 outs.
251 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez. And you saw those pitches to Ray Sanchez, that nasty curveball. You know, you only hear about guys and you talk to different hitters what to expect. But he has shown 3 or 4. Even you add that cutter that he showed Martinez, Tino Martinez, he's got 4 better than average major league pitches that he can throw over the plate at any time.
Raines is 0 for 1. Well, if you're Felipe Alou, when you pencil Martinez in, you just kind of sit back and relax and enjoy the sunflower seeds.
The hit to innings pitch, you mentioned it in the opening. Over 200 innings now, and only 119 base hits. You think about the only hit the Yankees have got today, it was a jam sandwich by Derek Jeter off the trademark, fought it off into right field.
Yeah, that was the first batter up in the bottom of the first for the Yankees.
But those, I mean, 200 innings, 119 hits allowed. The league, there's the one hit. The league coming into today was hitting 172. These are major league hitters.
This guy could even make the catcher look good.
It's a day at the beach when you're catching Pedro.
Yeah, that's in there, 2-2.
But that's a very good point. You have 4 options. I mean, he is just locating the fastball right where Fletcher puts the target. Catcher's options are unbelievable that day. 4 different pitches you can call at any time.
And you don't have to be blocking balls in the dirt. Reached down at punch goes short. Boy, look at the quickness of the arm from Gonzalez. Gets short. So the Yankees once again go down 1-2-3. We've played 6. Martinez is cruising 6-0 Expos. All right, top of the 7th here at the Yankee Stadium. Montreal leads at 6-0, and Martinez smelling the roses so far. And Lansing leads it off here in the 7th inning. First pitch swinging as usual. And there's one down. If you haven't made plans for Labor Day, you can tune in to the WB11 for more interleague baseball action. The Yankees take on Rookie of the Year hopeful Scott Rowland and the Philadelphia Phillies Monday afternoon at 1 right here on the WB11. And we understand Kurt Schilling will be pitching for the Phillies. Talk about strikeouts. Kurt Schilling has a bunch of his own.
Yeah, he leads the National League in strikeouts. So Rabu will be pitching against him. Joe Torre announced his rotation. And some concerns. The rotation has been announced for Philadelphia. It'll be a Rabu, Kenny Rogers, and Doc Gooden against the Phillies, who've been playing very good baseball since the All-Star break.
And Guerrero sends one deep into left center field. Bernie on the run. And he won't catch up with it as it bounces over the left field wall for a ground rule double. Another first pitch swinging Expo.
And we talked about it, Bobby, last night. Remember live bat? How a ball jumps off the bat? Guerrero, it makes a different sound. We're sitting far away, but it just sounds different. Very strong. One hop over the left center field wall.
So David Segui will try to knock in Guerrero. Segui, who is 1 for 2. In fact, that 1 for 3. He He reached base on an error back in the third. That proved costly as the next batter, Rondell White, hit the ball out of the ballpark. Segui has scored 2 runs for Montreal. Toyota box score for Montreal. Fletcher and Rondell White. White 3 for 3, and he's got a chance for the cycle. He is the last Montreal Expo to hit for the cycle, and he's got a chance to duplicate that here today. That's foul out of play. Felipe Alou, 1994 Manager of the Year, also a former Yankee player back in the 70s, 72, 73. Had the privilege of playing alongside Felipe. And basically the same type of personality here as a manager as he was as a player. Very fundamentally sound. Knew exactly what he wanted to do when he walked to the plate, and just a good all-around player.
Yeah,
and
players
comes from a long line, with brothers and etc.
It was interesting when he explained in 1973 that if he was going to manage the Yankees Double-A team in West Haven, and then the trade to Montreal, and he's been with the Expos ever since. It's funny how things work out. He was managing in West Palm Beach, his home, for 8 years in A-ball, developing all that young talent that came through the Expos farm system, and he refused the job. Remember he's telling us? He refused. They wanted him to come up to the big leagues and be a bench coach. And he says, "No, I like it down here. I'm going to stay down here and work with the kids. I enjoy it. I'm at home. I really don't need the money." And then eventually they talked him into becoming a bench coach and then the manager.
Just wonder how long Montreal will be in Montreal with all the problems that they have. They've got just like a lot of other cities now, they have that stadium issue before the people. They want to vote. They want them to vote on building a brand new stadium in Montreal.
And they feel with the extra revenues, then they can keep all that talent. Well, you might be talking about a dynasty in Montreal if they were ever to keep all their own talent right there. The players they develop.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 on Segui. Talk about a dynasty. They've given away a dynasty. spread the wealth around.
Most of Wells' curveballs today on that overhand curveball.
7 strikeouts for David Wells.
Yeah, here's the list. Look at the list. I mean, Randy Johnson, Galarraga, Wetland, Grissom, Walker. It just keeps going on and on. That's just a partial list of the names.
Rondell White.
I mean, even look at the last name on the list, Jeff Juden. He had 11 wins. They couldn't afford him anymore. At the All-Star break, they traded him to Cleveland for Steve Klein, a lefty that's in their bullpen.
And, of course, Moses Alou, who's the son of Felipe Alou, he moves to Florida to pick up some of that big free agency money.
There's Rondell White, single, double, homer. Needs the triple. That's the toughest one to get for the cycle. But he, like you mentioned, Bobby, he was the last Expo to do that in 1995 against the Giants.
He's got the speed to get the triple.
A lot of outfield here, too.
That's a chopper foul off to the left side. Nice play by a fan. Not only does he get a souvenir, he gets on television. All of his friends will tell him that they saw him here on the WB11 either tonight or tomorrow, and congratulate him on making that great play. Inside for a ball. It's 2-2. 2 outs here in the 7th. Montreal in front 6-0. Looking to be here on Don Mattingly Day. Yankees Yankees will send Andy Pettit to the mound against Mike Johnson from Montreal. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 strikeouts in this inning by David Wells, and he's got 8 on the day, but he's behind 6-0. Back to the stadium, bottom of the 7th. It's getting late for the Yankees. 6-0 Montreal. Only 1 hit in the game by New York, and it was off of the bat of Derek Jeter leading off in the first inning. That's a grounder foul off to the right side.
If you're thinking about career highs, he's had a 1-hitter already this season. That was against Cincinnati to start after the All-Star break. Retired 28 of the 31 batters he faced in the 1-hit complete game shutout.
Breaking ball misses inside. The appeal is denied. Let's take a look at the box score for the Yankees. Not a whole lot there.
Yep, they're right there. That's it.
Everything else is an offer.
With 6 strikeouts.
Now, you're not talking about any shabby batting lineup. I mean, that's a tough hitter's lineup to face by any pitcher. And there's the breaking ball in there. It's strike 2, 1 and 2.
And then this ball starts up high, drops down and in, freezes Bernie Williams. He has kept the ball out of the middle of the plate.
And the changeup as Bernie swings over the top of it. So strikeout number 7 by Martinez. One out here in the 7th.
And that's the record. Felipe Alou looking on. All-time Expos record.
Did they throw that ball out?
I think he's still got it.
He wants to add to it before he throws it out.
Oh, he'll get a lot more strikeouts
no
this
doubt
year.
about it,
On pace for over 300 in a season.
And this is Tino taking a fastball just on the knees for a call strike.
Now you're witnessing like a great painter. He is on the corners all day long.
Yeah, the record that we were talking about after that strikeout. The record for the most strikeouts in a season used to belong to Bill Stoneman. Now it belongs to Pedro Martinez with 252 strikeouts. Stoneman had 251. Records are made to be broken, and he adds to it by striking out Martinez. 2 gone here in the 7th.
Well, they're keeping score in right center field. 8 on the season, and another amazing stat. 14 games this season. The good overhand curveball strikes out Martinez out of the middle of the plate. It starts there and drops out of the strike zone. 14 times this season he's had more than 10 strikeouts in a ball game.
First pitch swinging is Paul O'Neill. Soft fly ball to center. White puts it away. And the Expos and Martinez, they are cruising. We played 7, and the Expos are in front. Montreal comes to bat here in the top of the 8th with a 6-0 lead, and first pitch swinging, that's what they do best. But Sanchez is there this time to take a base hit away from Darren Fletcher.
We mentioned Fletcher, a pull hitter, pulled the 3-run home run off Wells in the 2nd inning. Little breaking ball down. Pulls it. Nice timed jump by Sanchez at second base.
Sanchez, who booted a play last night. Montreal scored a run off of that error. Jose Vidro, the designated hitter. 1 for 2 this afternoon with a walk back in the 2nd inning. I'm telling you, I don't think you have to throw a strike.
We said it in the 1st inning. Wells did it very well in the 1st inning. Struck out Gradzalanek and Lansing on balls out of the strike zone.
One of those teams that you throw anything but a strike to them. Little tapper, tough play for David Wells, but he makes it. And there's 2 gone.
Well, that was like cricket. I think earlier in the broadcast I mentioned polo. Somebody trying to hit the ball on the bounce. That ball just about bounced in front of the plate. Watch Vidro. Exactly what we were talking about. Don't throw strikes. The little topper in front of the plate.
Well,
Cricket.
If you want to talk cricket, you want to talk to Graham Lloyd. He's out of the Yankee bullpen. He comes from Australia. That's their big game there. Yeah, they bounce the ball up as the hitter tries to hit it with a paddle. And Santangelo sends one off to the right side, but foul. Well, we were talking about the baseball and the one that he would want to keep after setting the record for the strikeout season single total. I'll get it out in a minute. And they will put it away, and that'll be a nice souvenir and a memento for him.
That's Ron McClain, their trainer.
Neither is short to throw out Santangelo, so the Expos go down 1-2-3. Yankees will come up in the bottom of the 8th inning behind by 6 runs. Bottom of the 8th. Yankees behind 6-0. Let's take a look at the New York Urban League's 27th annual Whitney M. Young Jr. Football Classic, Grambling State versus Hampton. That starts Saturday, September the 27th, 2 o'clock at Giant Stadium. If you want tickets, call that number right there, 926-8000. Always a big classic to this area. And yes, you are. I'm on the WB11. So hello, Mom. Mom is seeing quite a game here. This is Chad Curtis with a line drive down the left field corner. The leadoff double by Curtis here in the 8th inning, and only the second hit by the Yankees so far this afternoon.
Listen to the crowd and the ovation for Martinez. Had a long string. Just that first inning single to Jeter. Curtis jumps on a high fastball. He does not miss anything above the belt. Loves the high ball.
The only other batter to reach base besides Jeter was Raines, who walked in the 4th, and then Martinez set down 12 in a row before that base hit. And there's Bob. First pitch swinging, base hit for him. They're going to hold Curtis up at 3rd, and rightfully so. The Yankees are down by 6, so they need base runners. And Bob with a base hit. The Yankees with their first 2 men on here in the 8th inning.
Both jumping on the first pitch from Martinez. Didn't want to spot him a strike. Bob normally takes that first pitch. This time he crosses up the strategy, lines it back up the middle for a base hit.
Cuellar, the pitching coach from Montreal, quickly over to pick up the phone to the bullpen. But I don't think Martinez, up until this inning, he hasn't even broken a sweat yet. And Girardi takes that outside for a ball. He has been up twice and has struck out both times.
And what did Pedro Martinez do? He went to a first pitch breaking ball, then the 2 previous first pitches that were fastballs.
Dropped it down the right field line, but a curve foul. Left-hander is Steve Klein. Anthony Telfer is the right-hander.
Both guys pitched in last night's ball game.
That pitch now back on the plate off the 1-2 count coming to Girardi.
Showed him the curveball first pitch, and then really has busted him with 2 fastballs in on the hands. You know, hitters with their runner on third base want to get their arms extended so they can loft the fly ball maybe to right center field. See what Fletcher wants to do here. Looks like the curveball coming.
And it's outside. That leaves the count up at 2-2. Martinez, with 11 complete games this year, that leads the National League. But there is activity in the bullpen. You would think that he would really have to go bad for Felipe to take him out of the game and go to the bullpen, but he's going to be ready just in case that happens. Girardi stays alive with that foul ball. Well, here's the nobody beats the Wiz scoreboard in the American League, the Interleague. Mets defeating the Orioles, and Atlanta just pounces Boston 15-2. Garcia Parr's hitting streak stops at 30. Florida shutting out Toronto 4-0. And right now the Yankees are being shut out too, but they are threatening here in the 8th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Girardi has struck out 3 times against Martinez. He will leave a runner stranded at third. Strikeout number 9.
Well, really, the fastball's inside set up this breaking ball, but look at the location. Down and away. Good concentration, tight, hard spin on that breaking ball.
And this will bring up Ray Sanchez. He is a strikeout victim. Back in the 6th inning, he also flied out in the 3rd.
You would think that maybe Torrey, if you look at the last 2 scores, Los Angeles all over Seattle. Anaheim, a big game for the Yankees. That's the wild card. They're 6.5 games in front of Anaheim.
Sanchez goes the other way. It's fair, and it's down the right field line. Curtis will come on to score. Box will be held at third. And a double by Sanchez puts the Yankees on the board. And it's 6-1.
Nice piece of hitting by Ray Sanchez. Took the fastball down and away and rifled it in the right field for the double. Boy, that's a good pitch. Down and away from Sanchez. Hit hard down the right field line.
Well, it took the Yankees 8 innings, and maybe they found something that they didn't know through 8 innings about Martinez. So Sanchez with the double and driving in the first run. He'll leave it up to Jeter now. Bobby Cuellar, who's the pitching coach for Montreal, also the pitching coach for Seattle when they were developing young players over there. So he fits the role nicely here at Montreal. And Jeter, who's 1 for 3. Boy, it just seems like ages ago. I mean, back in the 1st inning, that was the first batter from Jeter, the base hit, and then got another hit until we come up to the 8th inning. And Jeter tries to go the opposite way.
Well, the one other thing that we haven't mentioned here in the 8th inning, now the sun is gone. A little bit easier to pick up the ball, but Martinez is still very good location. You got to give a lot of credit to Sanchez. He hit a nasty pitch down the right field line. See, no more shadows. A little bit easier to pick up the baseball.
6-1 Montreal with the Yankees threatening here the 8th. Time is called.
Probably a little different. You see how he moves the ball around? But look at how high he holds the ball up in that mitt. Most pitchers like to get it down in their palm. I don't know why. That's a little bit different. He really has his hand way up inside that glove. Maybe because he throws so many changeups to adjust it. He doesn't want the hitters maybe to pick up how he grips that ball. Still moving it around, just trying to get the right feel. Way up on top of that glove.
Rounded towards the shortstop. Galanic will throw out Jeter. Box comes on to score. It's 6-2 Montreal.
ball to Jeter. Rolls over the top of it. Zalonic has a strong throwing arm. Originally came up as a second baseman. They moved him to shortstop, and he's done very well there.
So 2 gone here in the 8th. And the designated hitter, Raines, will step in. Raines is 0 for 2 with a walk. And the changeup swung on and missed, strike 1. Almost the same pattern, you know, the left-handed hitters, it looks like, Rick. You know, the cutter
change up here, cutters inside, good high fastballs. I mean, and what has he done? He stayed out of the middle of the plate. Sounds easy, but it's tougher to do.
That's a check swing grounder toward the right side, so Segui will take it himself. And the inning is over for the Yankees. They do come up with a couple of runs on 3 base hits here in the 8th. So we travel to the 9th, and the Expos still have a 4-run lead. Yankees baseball is sponsored by Toyota and your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by your Tri-State GMC dealers. Well, the sun has settled behind the clouds, but the Yankees here in the top of the 9th inning are behind by 4. And Martinez, who gave up the 2 runs in the 8th inning, I don't know if that's enough for him or not. He will take his place on the dugout. And what is this, Rick? He sits down in the dugout, and the next thing you know, they give him a bat to sign.
I have no idea, but he's signing the bat. Maybe it's for somebody in the fans.
All right, let's take a look at our game summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. Not a whole lot for the Yankees, but Montreal in the 2nd inning, a Fletcher 3-run home run. That's a controversial home run back in the 2nd inning, and then Rondell White with a 2-run home run after an error kept the inning alive. Zalonic with an RBI single in the 4th. Sanchez finally gets the Yankees on board in the 8th, and then Jeter with an RBI ground out with the Yankees scoring 2. And he's signing lumber. He's not signing baseballs.
Maybe the Yankees sent it over. Said, hey, the pitching performance by this, we want his autograph. No, I'm just teasing. David Wells' day is over, and Jeff Nelson will come in 3-6 on the year in his 66th ball game for the Yankees.
You know, I guess if you go back, Rick, you got to go back and you say, well, there's a couple plays. If they didn't happen, Yankees could be ahead by 2-0 here. And you go back to the 3-run home run. If Paul O'Neill comes up with that ball and no fan interference out there, then the error back in the 3rd. If they don't make the error and the inning is over with, there's 2 runs saved there. Of course, you can always go back in the game and say, you know, what if and all that stuff. But
well, even after the Jeter home run, there was 2 outs. Wells did not get out Rondell White. Hit a first pitch 2-run homer.
You mean the Jeter error?
Yeah, the Jeter error, excuse me.
Well, this is Doug Strange here in the 9th inning. First pitch from Nelson, a curveball inside for a strike. Strange hit a home run last night, but he's 0 for 3 this afternoon. And a rare pitch that Expo batter did swing at. Looking to raise their interleague record to 9-2 on the year if they defeat the Yankees this afternoon.
If you're the Yankees, there has to be some concern.
Montreal says, hey, bring on radical realignment. Bring on any realignment you want to.
Yeah, we
play well, right?
We like playing in the American League ballpark.
That's a confused look from Joe Torre. Well hit down the right field line, and it will be foul, just barely foul. There's not a whole lot of territory down there, but they found some foul territory.
You mentioned that was a big game with Anaheim being played. I think what the Yankees did on that West Coast trip, they went 5-4, but they distanced themselves in the wild card race. That's the most important thing. You got to get in the playoffs. They have 8 games remaining with Baltimore. Worst thing that could happen is Baltimore wins the majority of those games. You know, Baltimore's been playing great all year. You don't think that they're going to be swept by the Yankees in 8 games. That's something you can't ask for.
Well, what I really think happens, we'll take a look at this replay here. I think he thought that was a strike. A little high and inside. So it's a 3-2 count coming to Strain. My thought on that is Nelson goes to a breaking ball or a 3-2 pitch and walks Strain to lead off the inning here in the ninth. Let's take a look at that Orioles series that you're talking about, starting next Thursday and Friday. Those game times are at 7:30. They're back here on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and then on Sunday they finish it up with a 1:30 game. Tickets available at the Yankee Stadium ticket window. And that could be the series of the year.
Yeah, and, you know, Bobby, you're right. It's a big series. The Yankees have distanced themselves from the Anaheim Angels. 6.5 game lead in the wild card. 8 games in the loss column. The Giants are beating the Anaheim Angels. I think the first priority as you enter September is to get to postseason play. The worst thing that possibly could happen to the Yankees is that Baltimore sweeps them. And then all of a sudden it's a race again in the wild card.
And this is Grzelcyk. A line drive single into left field. So those 2 men that face Jeff Nelson are on here in the ninth. Well, my thought on that is that the Yankees, they have some breathing room. And you would think that at this point, if there wasn't a wild card and they were this far behind Baltimore, we're taking a look at this Grzelcyk line drive single, there would probably be a whole lot of panic here at Yankee Stadium. But since there is a wild card and they do have a 6.5, 7 game lead there, they don't have to really panic that much. Like you said, we just want to get the postseason.
Yeah, if you were looking, you're exactly right. If you were looking at an 8-game series coming up against Baltimore, down 8 games in the loss column. That's what the Yankees are. 8 games in the loss column. Joe Torre addressed that to the media today, saying that, hey, you got to be realistic. Baltimore's played great all season. Don't expect us to sweep them home and away.
So it takes a little pressure off of them.
Oh, I think a lot of pressure. It does. Especially with Cone on the disabled list, the starters having a tough time right now. You know they would be looking to make moves by the 31st deadline. And the deadline is for postseason play, and you really don't think they're going to be doing anything till then. They did make one little move. They sent Homer Bush out last night after last night's game, brought Andy Fox back. He's healthy again. He'll be available. There's Andy. He'll be available for postseason play. 28 steals in Columbus. That's what they like. The speed and the versatility on Andy Fox.
And also the experience. Lansing chasing the ball way out of the strike zone, and he strikes out. One gone here in the ninth.
Good sweeping breaking ball from Nelson. Lansing needed a bat that was about 48 inches long to reach that breaking ball.
What Nelson will do to you from the right side, he will make you go one direction, the ball's going another, as far as your body is concerned. And this is Guerrero. He lifts one out of the right center field. It'll fall in front of Williams. Another run will come on to score, and Guerrero hustles into second base. Pretty good pitch by Nelson, and he just reached down and blocked it out in the right center field for an RBI. 7-2 now, Montreal leads.
Remember what Felipe Alou was saying, how intelligent Guerrero is for just 21 years old. Well, he's been watching that big sweeping breaking ball. He gets it from Nelson and just shoots it in the right field. Wasn't a pretty swing, but he got the job done and hustled all the way to make this a double.
Guerrero down at second base, and with first base open, they will walk David Segui to load the bases up and pitch to White. hits by Montreal. Well, that's not a happy look on either Zimmer's or Torrey's face.
And on some of the fans that are leaving. Montreal, they thought they'd come in here, be a little awe of the Yankee Stadium and the mystique here. They played very well in the first 2 games of this series.
And the cycle is still alive for White. A single, a double, and a home run. He struck out back in the 7th, so he gets another shot. This will be his 5th trip to the plate today. And the bases are loaded for him.
Well, you want to set up where a triple can be hit. You know Yankee Stadium, you hit triples in the gaps, right? Or if something happens maybe down the line where it caroms around and you could run. A lot of outfield at Yankee Stadium.
Would you? This is another. Would you, if you thought you could get an inside the home run, just stop at third base?
Would I?
Well, I mean,
I would never be even inside the park home run.
It's 7-2. certainly it's hypothetical, but 3-0 pitch is in there for a called strike.
Now wait a minute. I hear the truck getting on me, Leon and Micah. I did have an inside the park home run. You can look it up in old Minnesota Stadium. Long fly ball. The outfielder got stuck in the fence.
Yeah. Three outfielders had heart attacks. You fell down.
You were on the team. It was a fly ball to straightaway center field. It kept drifting back. You might even have been on base. And the outfielder, there was like a chain link fence. He went back, jumped. The ball hit off the wall. His foot got stuck in the bottom of the fence, and I just ran around. No play at home.
Even though it took 5 minutes for him to round the bases.
Oh, yeah.
A 3-2 pitch coming. And Nelson comes back to strike out White with the bases loaded. And there's 2 gone. Well, let's check out the turning point of the game. And it will be brought to you by GMC. And here it is, Darren Fletcher. And that shot is in the 2nd inning, a 3-run home run. It becomes a controversial play. Paul O'Neill thought he could have caught it. But a fan out there reaching out. Let's see it one more time. Oh, and that was back in the 2nd inning. That's our GMC turning point of the game.
There's the guy that hit the ball, and Jeff Nelson will be coming out. Graham Lloyd will be coming in. Expos lead 7-2. We'll be right back. See how Graham Lloyd makes out with the bases loaded.
All right, back to the stadium, top of the 9th inning. 7-2 Montreal. They have the bases loaded. And they loaded those bases up against Jeff Nelson. He gives way to Lloyd.
Nelson barking in the dugout, upset at Ted Barrett, the home plate umpire. Got the big strikeout of Rondell White.
He fell behind White with the bases loaded, 1 out, 3-0, and came back to strike him out. So with the catcher, Darren Fletcher, the left-handed batter coming up, Joe Torrey wants the big Aussie out there, Graham Lloyd, to pitch to him. They will go over the signs, you know, with the runner down at 2nd to make sure that they have the sequence right.
Now, Graham Lloyd would know all about cricket.
Yes, he would. And I bet he played a lot of it when he was a kid. But he has chosen baseball, and he has done a good job here in America playing professional baseball, along with a lot of other Aussies. Dave Nielsen over with Milwaukee.
Greg Shipley with the San Diego Padres.
And now Australia has quite a few professional baseball teams over there.
Yeah, winter leagues. A lot of younger American players go over there to get valuable experience.
Foul at home plate.
still got the jacket on. Pedro Martinez looks like he's going to go for his 12th complete game. No activity. No activity in the Expos bullpen.
I wouldn't see why not. Outside for ball 2. I'm still looking for a drop of sweat on his brow, and I haven't seen one yet. Talking about Martinez. Lifted out into left field. Curtis will be there, though. And he makes the catch. So Montreal will come up with 1 run here in the top of the 9th inning. Pedro Martinez will tow the mound for the complete game. We'll be back. All right, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning here at the stadium. Montreal leads at 7-2, but Montreal will finish up this interleague play tomorrow afternoon. It will be Don Mattingly Day. And number 23, Mattingly's number will be retired.
Yeah, I hope they do a better job than I just did drawing Don Mattingly's number. The festivities will start at 12:45 tomorrow.
The ceremony will start at 12:45. Game time 1:30. And MSG will be on the air tomorrow about 1 o'clock to cover some of the ceremony and the game between Montreal and the Yankees. This has just been a short 3-game homestand for the Yankees as Bernie leads it off here in the 9th inning.
And the Yankees have said a lot of surprises tomorrow. I have heard that Dave Righetti and Mike Pagliarulo will be back in town.
Now, is it Pagliarulo or Pagliarulo?
Paglia. Remember he used to say Pagliarulo.
I want to make sure.
Rags and Pags will be back in town.
Rags and Pags. All right. It should be an exciting day. I understand it's a sellout crowd here for Mattingly Day. Chopper Segui with the underhand flip to Martinez. 1 gone in the 9th. Boy, he has been everything that we heard about. Pedro Martinez. He hasn't disappointed anybody in this park today. He comes in with impressive numbers, comes in with a reputation. He's got 9 strikeouts. He set a new single-season record for himself. He's got his own fan club here at Yankee Stadium. And Martinez lines a base hit into left field. And I'm sure the Yankees would like to have Pedro Martinez. Who knows? He may play here one day.
Well, actually, Bobby, you bring up a point. I don't think he's gotten through waivers. But the deadline for postseason rosters
I'm talking about
tomorrow.
1998, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I would love to get him in that uniform. He's not a free agent at the end of this season, but he is arbitration eligible.
And they've never had a $5 million player, and arbitration, he's going to pass the $5 million mark. Easily.
Trying to get his 12th complete game of the season. That's a lost art. And the Expos trying for their 25th as a team. Both numbers lead the major leagues.
That pitch right there was 101 pitches by Martinez now. O'Neill, who is 0 for 3. Yankees with only 5 base hits.
Just in comparison, those 25, if Martinez gets a complete game today, the Yankees, by comparison, only have 10. When you think about the Braves, well, they only have 17. So the Expos, a lot of complete games.
1-2 count coming to O'Neill.
Only 1 walk to go along with the 9 strikeouts.
You know what? Left-handers came in batting against Martinez today. Came in batting 180 over the season. Now that's the left-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher. And O'Neill strikes out. Strikeout number 10. And his 2 gone here in the 9th.
Well, the numbers keep getting more impressive. That's his 10th strikeout, the 15th time he has done that this season. 10+ strikeouts in a ballgame. And I mean, he just worked over the Yankee hitters, and a veteran bunch of hitters. Showed them sinkers down and away, hard fastballs up, change-ups, and a little cutter.
Curtis takes a pitch up high for a ball. Curtis lined a double down the left field line to lead off the 8th inning. Came around to score the first run for the Yankees. The Yankees came up with 2 in the bottom of the 8th. But here in the 9th, it's 7-2 Expos with 2 outs. It's a 1-1 count. And Curtis is mad because he let a fastball go by and he didn't swing at it.
Yeah, that wasn't a good fastball. It was right on the outside part of the plate. He wants the ball up in the strike zone that he can hammer.
Well, you know, I mentioned the left-handers batting 180. That's pretty high as compared to the right-handers. They came in batting 160. It's a 1-2 count coming to Curtis. A lot of cheering going on here at Yankee Stadium for an opposing player. Pedro Martinez. Fan clubs all over the place. That pitch fouled back and out of play. They want the strikeout.
Yeah, they want him to end with number 11. Felipe Alou doesn't like the complete game, but he has 3 young pitchers in his rotation and really wears out his bullpen. He counts on Carlos Perez, who we saw last night, and Pedro Martinez to go the distance.
Ground ball. Grzelcyk will go the short way to force the runner, and the game is over. Martinez wins it. It's his 16th win of the year. Expos have now beat the Yankees 2 in a row. Martinez with 10 strikeouts, and over the last 17 starts, he has now struck out 182 opposing batters. Very impressive performance by the 26-year-old right-hander.
Well, we haven't seen the Expos any jitters at all. They came in here swinging the bat, very aggressive. A couple of good pitching performances. We saw a masterpiece today by Pedro Martinez, his 16th win. And how good has he been all season? You look at the final out, good curveball. His ERA will probably go up slightly. Came into the game with a 1.61 ERA, gave up 2 earned runs in 9 innings to the Yankees.
Also picks up his 12th complete game of the year. That's tops in the National League, and a lot of high fives and congratulations and smiles. And it looks like Paul O'Neill has just been baffled all day long. He was 0 for 5. And sitting in the dugout is a lone player for the Yankees.
It was a tough play by O'Neill, that fly ball, the 3-run homer by Fletcher. Thought he should have caught it. Another day.
All right, that's it from Yankee Stadium. Final score once again, Montreal 7 and the Yankees 2. A controversial play in the second inning off the bat of Darren Fletcher. That could have been the difference, but we never know. Visit us on our website at the www.wb11.com. And in the air, opened up the gates for Rondell White to hit a home run. That added 2 more. Our next telecast will be Monday at 1 o'clock when the Yankees go off to Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. And Pedro Martinez with a spectacular performance this afternoon, picking up his 16th win and 10 strikeouts. Coming up next is the Honeymooners. So we're glad you were with us this afternoon. For my colleague Rick Cerrone, I'm Bobby Mercer. We'll see you on Monday afternoon. Good night, everybody.